Hi everyone, it is me and I am still so incredibly happy. I still can't believe that this is real. Like, this is my book. It's not out yet, but this is it. This is the book. And it has been so fun to just like walk around and show it off to a bunch of my friends who have just been so incredibly supportive. I mean, if you've seen any of my other videos, like I've said, I've been working on this book for like 7 years. Like, that's a long time. That would be a real little person. But also the most amazing, wonderful thing happened. My gorgeous friend Dee, and if you can see on my feed, who is just the sweetest, most kind, loving, incredible artist, human. I could go on and on. But she made Sabrina and I these beautiful art pieces that are inspired by our book cover. That one was mine, and this one is for my sister. And it just was such a reminder to me that not only that how supported we are, but just of how much love and fantasticness there is in the world. So thank you so much, Dee. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is getting guidance and how we make it so incredibly complicated. You know, one of the first things that I want to say is that when we want guidance, we want to expect it. We want to expect the things to show up. You know, so often we aren't guidable. You know, it's almost like we get so caught up in our linear thinking and like the way that it is, the way that it should be, that we get cut off from any other way of learning to kind of navigate the world. And for me, you know, and I see this all the time with my clients, which is incredible. They'll tell me these stories. I'll be mentoring them, I'll be coaching them, and they'll tell me these incredible stories, these things that have happened that are just magical, really. And then they'll ask me, they'll say, is that guidance? Was that my intuition? Are you sure? And I'm like, oh my gosh, what? Of course it was. It absolutely was. You were completely connected, you were available, and you just followed your gut, and then all these magic things happened, and so now your head's getting in the way and trying to make you overthink it. And it's a real way that we have to sort of train our minds. You know, my mom always said our intellect and our egos are like our pets. They're like our dogs. And we need to train our dog to be supportive. You know, we wouldn't let your dog pee all over your house. You're not going to let your mind take control and not let you trust your intuition. So one of the first ways that one of the simplest ways to start getting guidance and to really start tuning in is to expect it. And even of just opening your mind to it by even just starting to ask questions. When we start to think about things instead of ways of right or wrong and get out of that linear way, we open everything up. And so if you're wanting guidance on something specific, a really good question to ask yourself, and maybe you don't have a solution, is to get into wondering. I wonder what the solution would be. I wonder what would happen if I moved to another country. I wonder. Because when we wonder, we open up this whole other space that allows for new information to come in. But when we get into trying to figure it out, it kind of shuts everything down. So, and you know, another really great way to get guidance and to really start paying attention is to even just wake up in the morning and like before you even get out of bed, just take a moment to tune in. Just take a moment to set your intention for the day to get guidance. And it's funny because guidance shows up in a million different ways. In a lot of ways, it's ways that are super unexpected. Like, for example, I woke up this morning and I just wasn't feeling that great. I was kind of ruminating about a bunch of other things from the past and wasn't totally present. So I did my meditation. I was like, all right, let's get it today. I don't have a car anymore, so I have my bike. And I box in the morning. So I got on my bike to go boxing. And I was sitting there and I was just thinking and like I just couldn't get off the thinking train. It was driving me super crazy. And so I literally said, guides, universe, I need help. I need support. Like I really just want to be present. Help me. And so I'm biking along and then I'm still thinking, not totally present, and I go to turn and I just eat it. I like fall off my bike. I don't hurt myself or anything, but it just totally fall off my bike, hit my knee, whatever. But it was just a moment for me where it was like my guides were like, hey, pay attention. Be here now. Pay attention to what's going on around you. And it totally snapped me out of this like trance of not being present. And then I was on my bike ride, and because I had a car that I was leased, and then I returned it, and now I have my bike, and I'm gonna bike all summer. But all of a sudden I was able to really notice and like pay attention to the neighborhoods. I was able to see these like really beautiful houses and notice all of these details that I had never seen before. And it was such a confirmation of just getting guidance in a way that was totally unexpected. It was this way of just knowing that it was okay to be present, and when I was present, I was really able to see and appreciate so many other beautiful things around me. Hi, Sarah. So, in getting guidance, we don't need to run it through our nervous system. We don't need to run it through these different channels of, is this true? Is this whatever? What we really need to do is, and I talk about this all the time, but it's about getting into our bodies. How does it feel? Because when it's guidance, everything opens up. Our hearts open up, everything. It's almost like, it has a feeling. But when we're in our heads and we get super into our intellect, everything kind of shuts down and kind of, So really paying attention to that. And this week, even just thinking about what is something that you want guidance on. And even to support that is to also create thoughts. Think about the ways that you want to bring that into the world. And whether that's just, sort of zeroing in on what it is that you want. What do you actually want guidance on? That's another great thing. A lot of times we want guidance and we want but we aren't specific about what we actually want guidance on. And just like if you were to ask a super open-ended question, that there's a million different answers and possibilities. It's the same thing with guidance. If you're like, for example, one of the things that I wanted guidance on this week was of how to be more present. And one of the ways that I got my guidance was like falling off my bike. And it was just a way to like snap back into the present, and just even of how we allow ourselves to be supported. So often we don't ask for help. And we don't allow ourselves to ask for help. And that even from people around us, but even from ourselves, from our guides, from our higher self. And when we don't ask for support, nothing comes in. The way that I was taught with my mom is, when guidance is subtle, and if we don't pay attention to it, and if we don't open up those channels, and we aren't even available to it, then we're not going to be guidable. It's almost like if you had a GPS, if you had like turned on Google Maps, and you wanted help to get to, some city you'd never been to before. And instead of actually following Google Maps, you just kind of went on your own way and weren't paying attention to it at all. So it's sort of like that. But so this week, I just want you to ask for help and pay attention to all the ways that it comes in and is super surprises you. Really pay attention to how it feels in your body. Pay attention to how it shows up and surprises you, and say thank you and write it down. A lot of times our intellect or our barking dogs don't connect the dots. But if we start to write it down or really make a point to pay attention to where we've gotten those little things, and it might just be a parking spot. It might just be somebody saying the right perfect thing at the right time. It might be a song that comes on the radio that just really resonates. And don't run it through your intellectual mind. Just like write it down on your phone. Find some place to just make a tiny note of it. And then at the end of the week, see all of the ways that you've been guided. And it's a really great tool to get your intellect and your mind to kind of quiet down and start trusting it. Because, a lot of times our intellects are just ways of trying to protect us. They're not the enemy. It's not like thinking is bad, not at all. But really, when the way that we're naturally designed to live and work in the world is to have our intellect and our intuition work together. And so to really do that is just a way of it's like going to the gym. It's just like a training routine. And when we get them both working, a well-organized mind is one of the best ways to support our intuition. But, you know, so it's sort of like just starting to pay attention, because what will happen is your mind will start to relax and it will start to trust those deeper knowings that you get. And then it makes it so much easier, so it doesn't feel like that super push and pull. So this week, I feel like I really want you to pay attention to where you're surprised. What are those little ways that your guide asks for help? Where do you need support? Be specific, however it is, and then be open to that wonder, open to those new ways that aren't necessarily super linear, that show up, and then say thank you. And that will help to train and will really create a shift. And you'll be surprised how quickly things do shift when you really start to pay attention. So that was my little thing for today, and I just want to say I love you guys all so much. Oh, also, our book is out May 30th. But if you pre-order it right now, my sister and I, on our site, we have a free mini course available just as a thank you gift for anyone who has pre-ordered our book or supported us. We are so incredibly grateful. If you go to our website, soniaandsabrina.com, and then click on books, you just enter in like whatever your receipt number is, and it will take you to our wonderful mini course. And we'd love to hear what you think. We're super excited about it. We're going to launch an online course like way later in the year, but we just want to help support you and give you all of the tools. And I just hope you're having a beautiful day. All my love. Bye.